It doesn't matter what mainstream media is talking about. It doesn't. It matters what the money's doing. They'll show you one hand, and then the other hand's doing something else. So you need to...
Yo, what up, world? It's your man Chaos on the MIC. This is the Financially Lit Podcast. I got my guy Nick G right here.
How y'all doing today? Don't think that silver is not a better play than gold, because people are like, well, why wouldn't I buy gold? Like, I got money, let me just buy gold. Well, it's not about how much money you got at this point anymore. Because
it's about how you're going to multiply it.
Exactly. Because if you pay attention to what the money does, and this is what we do all day, is we pay attention to the big players in the room, the central banks, the IMF, the International Bank of Settlements, all of the big boys in the room is what we pay attention to, as well as the tier 1 banks, and the tier 2, tier 3 banks like Chase Bank, for example. So Chase Bank, JP Morgan Chase, right? They just bought 700 million ounces of physical silver.
Yo.
When it was at like $15 an ounce, it's like 12 now, but it's fluctuating, right? But they bought it at 15 an ounce. So think about it. 700 million times 15. That's what my calculator did. Same thing. Too many zeros. 10 billion 500 million. There it goes.
Gotcha.
10 billion 500 million. So JP Morgan spent 10 billion 500 million dollars. Okay, and they had a choice. All right, what are we going to do with this money? Should we buy gold or should we buy silver? Maybe we should buy real estate. What should we do with this to protect some of this fiat wealth? We should buy silver. Why would they buy silver? Because they understand, and all the experts, precious metal experts around the world agree, that silver is undervalued by gold 9-1, and it is got a much higher upside potential than gold with all of the things that are happening in the market. So you need to study what the big boys are doing and what they know, because it doesn't matter what mainstream media is talking about. It doesn't. It matters what the money's doing. Watch one hand, they'll show you one hand, and then the other hand's doing something else. So you need to pay attention to where you get your news from and just take it with a grain of salt and follow the actual money. Because when you know facts like that and you see things like that, credible institutions like that have choices of where to put their money, how to store it, and they're choosing silver over gold, that's a big red flag for you, a big eye-opener for you, that if you have any money that you're trying to store or make sure that it doesn't devalue and put it in real money, you need to think about using silver versus gold. Silver is $12, $13, $14 an ounce right now. It's fluctuating in the market. I think it was $14.50 when I saw it earlier. But gold is about $1,300 to $1,500 an ounce on any given day for 1 ounce. So you can, if you had, $10,000, for example, or even $1,000, and you can't afford even one coin, or you can afford a bunch of these silver coins, right? On the $1,000 example, it makes more sense with the upside potential for silver for you to actually cash flow and take advantage of the upside potential of this silver quickening that's going on.
Yeah, because the gap between gold, where it's at and where it's going to go, is way smaller than the gap between where silver's at and where it's going to go.
Right. Precious metal experts think that gold will go anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 an ounce. And it's $1,300 to $1,500 right now. I mean, that's a big upside potential, right? $10,000 to $20,000 each ounce. But silver, precious metal experts think it'll go from $500 to $1,000 an ounce. It's only 14 right now. That is a much higher percent increase than gold. So the smart money and the math just says, it just works that way, that the bigger percent increase produces the bigger return. So no matter how much money you have, you put it in the bigger percent increase, it's the bigger yield. It's just the way it is. It's just predicated on what these precious metal experts believe silver and gold are actually going to go to. So people are going to say, well, how do you know it's actually going to go up to there? Well, I don't know 100% for sure that it will go there or not, but they just made a $10.5 billion bet that it's going to be doing something better than gold.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, they probably know a little more than the person questioning.
Yeah, just follow the money and be smart, be analytical, and to the best of your ability, protect your wealth the way they protect their wealth. They're transferring a lot of fiat cash over to physical assets like gold and silver. They bought gold as well, but they bought more silver than gold. I think just the other day they announced that they were eyeing to put more gold assets on reserves. But not just JP Morgan. I mean, I think that's a tier 3 bank. Look at tier 1 banks. Look at central banks. These banks are putting massive amounts of assets on their books, gold, silver, in reserves, massive amounts. That's unprecedented in their history to put this much gold and silver on reserve, unless they thought a drastic market crash was going to happen. Not just the type that we're seeing right now with the Roni. I mean, like resetting the gold standard. Like, forget fiat, go back to gold and silver. This is a massive switch that the central banks are doing. So most people don't tune into that kind of news. It's kind of dry, you don't really want to, it's not exciting. But when you're talking about your money potentially devaluating from $100,000 purchasing power to $10,000 purchasing power, I mean, it doesn't matter how dry it is. You should know this.
Yeah, for sure.
And we'll bring it to you so that we'll go learn it dry, and then you can learn it this way.
Yeah.
So that now that you understand, protect that wealth in some way, and don't get caught holding it. Make sure you put it in trust. So you're the beneficiary of the trust. You're the beneficiary of the value in the trust, but you're not the owner of the physical assets. The trust owns them. Very, very key.
Yo, and that wraps it up for today, folks. We got so much more information coming your way. Make sure you guys stay safe in these crazy times.
Till next time, y'all.
We out.